Marcel.
Honorable Alberts. Order. Honorable Member.
Chairperson, thank you.
Order, Honorable Alberts. There's a point of order.
My apologies to the Honorable Alberts. The Honorable Member who's just left the podium has twice referred to Amasela. I don't know what it means, but I asked Honorable Nkwinti, and I.
The Honorable Member, can we allow the member to raise a point of order?
I asked Honorable Nkwinti, and I'm told he's referring to members on this side of the House as thieves. Now, Honorable Chair, I'm not a thief. And if Honorable Kwankwa knows who is a thief, could he please give us the names and to the police? But I certainly am not one, and I object to that offensive referral in terms of the rules. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Nkwankwa, if I may ask you, did you refer to any members in the House?
Well, I didn't refer to anyone. I just said Lamasela. I didn't say the ANC, Lamasela, or the DA, or the opposition. I just said Lamasela, so what's there to withdraw?
Honorable Member, take a seat. I will refer to Hansard as in another matter and come back to the House. Honorable Alberts.
Chairperson, thank you. While the developed states are struggling with an aging population and have to deal with the complex problems of immigration, ensure the continuity of a younger workforce, South Africa is blessed with what is called a demographic dividend. This basically means that this stage of the country's history, we have a large pool of young people that, should they be employed, will play a significant role in creating economic prosperity for all South Africans. However, this is the gist of the problem South Africa is facing, as for most of these young people, jobs do not exist. While the country could have enjoyed blessings of its demographic dividend with massive economic growth, it is now facing the curse of massive unemployment, civil unrest and political instability. In short, it is very clear that the ANC's economic policies have failed, relegating young South Africans of all races to a life of unemployment, hopelessness and extreme frustration. As 'n mens egter die ANC-regering vra waarom hierdie situasie bestaan, is hulle vinnig om te antwoord, dit is eksterne faktore wat dit veroorsaak. Die fout lê by die internasionale ekonomie en wit ekonomie kapitaal. Ek het nog een keer van 'n ANC-minister of direkteur-generaal gehoor dat hulle eie beleid wel tekortkominge het nie. Wanneer ons die betrokke ministers en hulle departemente uitvra oor interne tekortkominge, word eenvoudig ontken dat daar foute is. Dit altyd die internasionale ekonomie, interne markfoutlyne en wit ekonomiese kapitaal wat die skuld dra, en dit verdien 'n verskerpte weergawe van bestaande ANC-ekonomiese beleid. There exists ample evidence that the ANC government has failed young South Africans. Private industry, firstly, is creating less jobs than the public sector. Industrial policy is not energizing the economy. The ANC is more interested in redistributing the redistribution of assets in a shrinking economy than growing it. More people are becoming dependent on social grants. The basic education system has failed spectacularly in preparing young people for the challenges of a globalized economy and continues to do so. Tomorrow we will probably see the ANC solution to this conundrum by the increased taxation of the already overburdened taxpayers, thus depressing and harming the economy even further. Daar is dus geen twyfel nie. Die grootste rede waarom daar tans nie hoop vir die jong mense van Suid-Afrika is nie, is te vind in die ANC se swak ekonomiese beleid en onvermoë om foute te erken waar hulle dit maak en nodige aanpassings te maak soos nodig. Die situasie sal ongelukkig nie verander totdat die ANC vervang word deur 'n toekomstige koalisieregering op nasionale en provinsiale vlak nie. Daardie proses is al reeds in verskeie stede aan die gang en sal voortgesit word tydens die verkiesing in 2019. Thank you, Madam Chair.